road safety, saying the DMV's decision to rush forward with driverless heavy-duty trucks is reckless.
Clearly, though, there's drawbacks. It definitely has the potential to improve goods movement, to lower costs of moving freight, but it's going to change our workforce.
Experts say these advancements mean driverless trucks could drive 24/7.
I've noticed a lot of folks bashing at autonomous trucks lately, at companies like Aurora, Hirschbach, and I'm kind of surprised a bit at this because those trucks didn't appear out of the blue yesterday. And I've also made some interesting observations on the corporate evolution in this space, which I'm going to touch on in just a sec. But first of all, let's clear something here. This isn't Skynet. Okay, physical AI is not Skynet. These companies have been building hardware and software for years, so stop acting surprised. Just to give you an example, Aurora is more than $4 billion in deficit. I think they're like something 4.6 or $4.5 billion in deficit. So those trucks didn't appear yesterday, and you have other companies like Waabi, which is based out of Toronto, and they actually came up with their own neural simulator called Waabi World. And essentially what this does is it allows them to simulate blizzards in a server rack while the news is still figuring out whether a sensor on the roof is a camera or a LiDAR. So there's a few of them, but another one is Kodiak, which specializes in more remote environments like forestry. Also, they deployed their trucks to the Permian Basin in Texas, and their model is a bit more conservative than Aurora's in terms of infrastructure investment because they're mainly retrofitting existing trucks and they're using a lot of off-the-shelf parts. So if you've ever heard of an organization called AVIA, AVIA, which stands for Autonomous Vehicle Industries Association, they're essentially the trade group behind this movement of AV trucks. They're acting basically as the legislative support for the industry mass adoption of those autonomous trucks. And they've been around since 2016. Surprisingly, they don't have a Wikipedia page. I checked yesterday. And for a massive, powerful federal framework like that, kind of a bit surprised that they don't have a Wikipedia page at this moment, at least. And their goal is basically, correct me if I'm wrong, is to push for a one set of rules in DC so that certain states that may be against or a bit more pesky in terms of not having a driver in a rig is outlawed, basically. So, for example, when a state like Colorado introduces HB 1286, Avia triggers a lobbying surge and coordinates PR campaigns with think tanks, and that sort of puts pressure on the bill. So Avia essentially operates through policy committees where those same companies like Aurora sit at the same table. If you look at the chairman of Avia, Melissa Wade, she used to work in the House Energy and Commerce Committee. So the same agency that sort of oversees a lot of this stuff. So if you worked under a representative who was currently pushing for the Self-Drive Act, and at the same time you're a senior director at Aurora, you sort of have a feel for the loop here. So there you have it. The structural bridge between autonomous trucking and the government is somewhat a bit more understandable, I guess, because bureaucracy moves extremely slow. And when it comes to navigating complex administrations like the FMCSA, like the recent issues they had with the emergency triangles, you sort of need that leverage, I guess, to push through the bureaucracy. Let me know what you think about this topic, and have you seen any AV trucks in your area? Thanks for watching.